What's up, PreCalc? Here we are with your review for Standard 19. The first couple of these should be relatively easy, and then towards the end they might start getting a little difficult. Alright, so just 2 times matrix A plus 5 times matrix B. You want to double all of those. That might be tricky on the quiz or the test. It might be 2 times B plus 5 times A. That way you have to kind of like look diagonal. Okay, it might not be perfectly lined up, like this one's first, this one's second. So be careful of that. Make sure you're paying attention. So this is 6, 14, 8, and 4. And then 5 times B. So I have negative 10. 5, 15, 10. And then when we're adding, they need to be the same size. They are 2 by 2 and a 2 by 2. And then they go, when adding goes corresponding spot to corresponding spot. So it's 6 plus negative 10, that's negative 4. 14 and 5, we got 19. 8 and 15, we got 23. 4 and 10, we got 14. Okay, hopefully that was pretty easy. Multiplying matrices if possible. Okay, we got 3 rows with 2 columns times 2 rows by 2 columns. Our middle numbers match. So yes, we can do that one. And the answer will be a 3 by 2. And I'm going to make this a little oversized. Now, if it would have been the other way around, if it would have been the exact same 2 matrices, just flip the order, a 2 by 2 times a 3 by 2, the middle numbers would not match, and we would not be able to do it. So just be aware of that. Okay, so when we multiply, it's row times column. So I'm going to take the first number in the row times the first number in that column. We're going top row with left column, and we're putting in the top left. 1 times 5, and 2 times negative 1. That's going to be 5 plus a negative 2. For a 3. Okay, then the top row times the left column. And that's going to go in the top left. So 1 times 2, and 2 times 3, so we'll have an 8. Okay, next, take the second row times those 2 columns. So negative 3 times 5, we got negative 15. 1 times negative 1, we got another negative 1. Negative 16 there. Negative 6, positive 3. We'll have a negative 3 there. Okay, bottom row, left column, bottom row, right column. We got 2 times 5 for 10, and 2 times negative 1 for negative 2, total of 8. 2 times 2 is 4. 2 times 3 is 6, total of 10. Okay, so multiply if possible. Rows by columns. Middle numbers have to match. Outside numbers tell you the shape of the answer matrix. If the middle numbers don't match, like if these would have been flip-flopped, can't do it. Okay, reduce this to row echelon form. That means we want it to look like 1, blah, 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 0, 1, blah, 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 0, 0, 1. Okay? Or if there's any all 0 rows, if there's any rows of all zeros, that needs to be moved to the bottom. So I like to do more than one step at a time, especially early on. So we have our leading 1 in the top left corner already. That's what we want. So we're not going to touch that, but we are going to change these. I want these to be zeros. So we're going to go negative 2R1 plus R2, and then negative 1 R1 plus R3. So that first one stays, 1, 3, 1. And then the second one, we're going to do negative 2 times row 1 and add it to row 2. And we should be coming up with 0, 1, 6. Negative 1 times row 1 and add it to row 3. And we should be coming up with 0, 1, 5. Okay, so we have a 1 with all zeros, and luckily enough for us, we have a 1 right there. Now that might not happen on your quiz or test. You might have to do a little divide by whatever or multiply by whatever to make this into a 1. Okay, so now we want a 0 underneath of that. So we're going to do negative row 2 and add it to row 3. So the top one stays, the middle one stays, and the bottom one will now be 0, 0, negative 1. Okay? And then we could just multiply negative 1 times row 3. I probably wouldn't make you write out the whole thing over again. Ah, we lost it. Fell off the edge, oh no. Okay? Like I was saying, I probably wouldn't make you rewrite the whole thing out. Technically, you probably should. But just to change it from a negative 1 to a 1 there, I probably wouldn't make you rewrite out the whole thing. Just scratch out that bottom row. Okay? Solve using matrices. Now this is the one that we probably didn't get to on the Thursday before break. So hopefully you watched the end of the video there in the email. This is going to take a little bit of work because it's by hand. We want to do this by hand, not the cheater way. Okay? So we're going to turn this into a matrix, and it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 3. Just the coefficients there, times x, y, equals negative 2, 4. Okay? And to solve, right, find a1 and multiply. We're going to a inverse to both sides. If I multiply by a inverse in the front of both sides, it should cancel out. There, and this will give us our answer. But we have to first come up with what is A inverse. Okay, so it's 1 over the difference of the diagonals. 3 times 3 minus 4 times 5. And we multiply all that times our matrix here that we're going to do stuff to. It's got a pattern to it. Okay? So 1 over 3 times 3 minus 4 times 5, that's 9 minus 20. We're going to have negative 1/11. Yes, the 11 is the thing that's negative, but it doesn't matter. Negative 1 over 11, 1 over negative 11, it's the same thing. Now, we multiply it to, if you follow the notes, these two switch spots. Okay, so it's not the greatest problem because they're already the same number, so you're not going to see that. But these two switch spots. So this one would go up here, and this one comes down here. So this is 3, and this is 3. So those two flip-flop spots. And these two stay in the same spot, but change signs. So if they were positive, now they're negative. If they were negative, now they're positive. So they were both positive, so now they'll both be negative. Okay? Well, what does that give us? Negative 3/11, positive 4/11, positive 5/11, negative 3/11 for our A inverse. Okay, so you're thinking that is not great. No, don't be scared by the fractions. We're just going to go with A inverse times A should cancel out. So that part's already gone, right? So now we have xy equals A inverse times negative 2, I don't know why I drew that there, 4. Okay, so it's just row times column. So we're going to have negative 3/11 times negative 2, that's positive 6/11. And then we have 4/11 times 4 for 16/11, which is 22/11, which is 2. And then the y row, row times column, we'll have negative 10/11 and negative 12/11 for a total of negative 22/11, which is negative 2. So we have 2 comma negative 2. Alright, so there it is. That one is probably a tough one. You're going to want to look at that again. You're going to want to watch that video from section 3 towards the end to get that again. And they also have another way to come up with the inverse if you would like to do that. I think this way is a little bit quicker, but if you'd rather do the other way, you could do that as well. Alright, we'll have time to talk about this review tomorrow before the quiz. Thanks for watching, and good luck.